Tea friends, welcome to Tumblewood Teas and to my favorite room at Tumblewood Teas, which is our workshop, learning about tea experiences room. And today we're going to be talking with you about the amazing world of pu'erh. Pu'erh is a very special and ancient tea that has always been my favorite. So I'm very happy and pleased to be able to talk to you about it today and teach you as much as I can in a short period of time. We of course welcome comments during the video so that you can have your questions answered. And as a little side note, so I don't forget, we are actually going to be offering $5 off on your next pu'erh purchase. You will have to direct message us so that we can send you the code and you can get your $5 off. So that said, and out of the way, I'm going to start talking about pu'erh. Pu'erh is spelled P-U-E-R-H. And I kind of emphasize the air part of the word, but in China, where it originated from, it's actually pronounced pu'erh, P-U-E-R-H. It's a very soft and delicate pronunciation. And the region that it is from is the Yunnan province, which is the southwest portion of China. It is also grown in Taiwan. So these are two exemplary places that your pu'erh should come from. And the reason for that is the soil, the air, and all the other components that go into making the perfect tea, in this case pu'erh, is very much like wine. Grapes, where they're grown, the terroir that they are grown in, makes a big difference in the result. So I like earthy, umami, the flavor, and that's why this type of tea really satisfies me. I just love the fact that it has a deep earthy flavor, not quite so light and delicate as say a white or a green tea. Not that I don't like those, but this one is very different in the experience. I often recommend pu'erh to coffee drinkers, believe it or not. There are a lot of coffee drinkers that are trying to enjoy more tea in their lives for either health benefits or just because tea has become so popular. And the reason I do this is because by nature and character, you can see the darkness of this one. It gives the same mouthfeel, the heaviness that a cup of coffee might give. A very different flavor, but the experience can be very close to the same. And because it is tea and not coffee, it doesn't have the same acids in it, so it is much easier on digestion. It's been said clinically, I can say this, to lower cholesterol. It actually breaks fats down in your system. So that's a wonderful health benefit that we can advertise, and very happy to. With all of that, I'm going to now start the basic lesson on pu'erh. You now know where it's grown, and when it's picked is the mid part of spring. So we are getting close to picking time for pu'erh. And that is a wonderful time because pu'erh is actually hand-picked. It should be hand-picked. And when it's brought back to what is called the processing plant, or manufacturing plant, different things can take place to create two different types of pu'erh. The first one is called raw. So that means that it is not processed the same as what would be called ripe pu'erh. And I'm going to tell you that I have not experienced a lot of raw pu'erh. I had it many years ago, and I remembered it being very good and very delicate and very light. And when I knew I was going to be doing this little presentation, I reached out to one of our favorite suppliers, and they sent me a cake, which is right here, solid little cake of raw pu'erh that is 23 years old. And when I stated in the beginning that pu'erh is an ancient type of tea, I meant it. The older, the better, quite frankly. It dates all the way back to the Han Dynasty, which is 220 AD. Not the oldest tea ever discovered. The actual oldest recorded tea discovered was a green tea found in the tomb of an emperor back in 140 AD. But as far as pu'erh goes, this is the history and this is the story. And going to say that this gift of this raw cake brought very interesting discovery, because I automatically thought I was going to steep it the same as I would an aged this type of pu'erh, and I was very wrong. I was very excited when we received the sample, and I quick created a steep of it and poured it into glasses, cups, and handed it out to everybody here at Tumblewood Teas, and I was really excited. And we stood there together and toasted each other and took a sip, and all of us said, "Oh, this is awful." And I thought, what happened? What did I do? So I went back and did my research and realized I had done all the wrong things. So with raw pu'erh, and I am going to show you this, we're going to do it together. I've cut off a little piece of this pressed cake, and I'll explain how these cakes are actually made. And I'm putting it into a small cup called a gaiwan, which means lidded cup. See that? And I'm actually going to put some hot water, so I'm going to lean over for a second, put a little hot water into it. And I'm going to now cover the gaiwan, the cup, okay? And we're going to set a timer for 2 minutes. And I'll leave this up to Mary to do for me. So that said, the temperature of the water for the raw is much lower. You can actually use water that is 160 to 170 for raw pu'erh. And we are using that. You're also going to do it at a much lower temperature. A much shorter amount of time. So we've got low temperature, short time. We're going to go 2 minutes with this, and that's it. And we're going to actually create, by doing this, a beautiful infusion, this light in color, and very, very light to taste. And that is raw pu'erh. Also another name called sheng, S-H-E-N-G. That's the Chinese word for raw pu'erh. So with this, then, I'm going to explain. The leaves are picked. They are brought back to the processing, manufacturing building. They are withered, just lightly withered, heaped in a big pile like a compost pile. So the bacterial breakdown is starting to occur, just like composting. And this is how pu'erh begins. This is how the character and the flavor of this tea begins. So after it has been in this pile for a while, it is then steamed and or pan-fired to stop the processing, stop the enzyme processing, and then it is actually pressed into cakes that are then left to age for years. 5 to 10 year old pu'erh is the best. And I'm going to go ahead and pour this if you don't mind, since I have it. It's ready. There we go. And we've got this beautiful infusion. Oop, excuse me, this is a tea sink, so I'm okay to pour things in it, just so you know. And I am going to give it a quick slurp. Slurping is the best way to enjoy your pu'erh. So, and it is delicious. It is smooth, it is light, almost a little sweetness. at the end. So with this, then, we've got our cake. It's aging, 5 to 10 years is great. A good old pu'erh actually gains flavor for the first 60 years of its life. So the longer it sits in your tea chest, cabinet, the better it is. Don't be afraid of keeping it. The other nice thing about it is because these leaves are so sturdy, I'm going to use the word sturdy here, you want to reinfuse these same leaves up to 10 times. 5 to 6 is absolutely outstanding, and you can get up to 10. So don't just toss your leaves away because you had your first cut, okay? Make sure you keep infusing. I'm gonna move this over now and show you some other things. So the aged pu'erh, and I've got some here. This is the ripened. This is also called shu, S-H-O-U. So we went from sheng, raw, to ripened, shu. Yes, shu. And please ask questions if you have them. We'd love to answer them. So with the ripened, what they've done in the 1970s is decided it takes too long to get good pu'erh. So they created a process where they actually add a biological culture, almost like, I hate to say like yogurt, uses a culture to help age it, ferment it, and this is where fermentation comes in a big way. So it speeds the process up. Within 40 days, you can have a really good tasting pu'erh this way. And then it is made into cakes. Again, pressed cakes. This is an amazing specimen that a very dear friend of ours brought us from China. And what you do, again, is you break off a piece. You would put it into your steeping vessel, whatever pot you're using. This is a yixing pot, which is great for pu'erh because it's clay and it absorbs the earthiness, the flavor, and you would use this pot for just that type of tea. You do this with oolongs and some blacks as well. So the yixing pot, we will go ahead, I'm going to pour this in. Now this does have a screen in it. It has a strainer. You don't have to do that, but I don't have another one here to pour through to capture the leaves. So I'm going to use this internal strainer. And I'm pouring the aged leaf, this is the leaf, and I'm going to fill this with water. Now I've gone to a much hotter temperature. Now I'm at 212. And I want that because this tea, this type now, because it's been oxidized longer, dried more, needs that heat to draw the flavor out of the leaves. But this one, I'm actually going to time at 5 minutes. So you see already there's a huge difference in how we're going to enjoy this. There we go. Again, Mary's going to set our timer for 5 minutes and let you know when to pour. The beauty of this one is, in my opinion, is the heaviness. I do enjoy a darker, richer, bolder flavor in my tea. And this pu'erh has nothing else blended into it. This is our Pard's pu'erh. Pard was named after my horse. And it's a good, dark, heavy, smooth, plain pu'erh. We have others that have many wonderful ingredients added, like dark chocolate, Moroccan mint, citrus, but this one is plain, and I prefer it this way. My taste only, not yours. And this type of tea also is made into these cute little, tiny little cakes called toachas. That's Tuocha, cha meaning tea. And these are adorable. These work really well inside a pot to be served around the table. Or you can break pieces off of these and make single cups as well. And talking about serving, I've left this pot here waiting for this tea, and that is because when the tea is steeping in this pot, all the heaviness, the flavor, and the color is going to be at the bottom. So if I were to pour it directly into your cup, you would get a very light color and flavor, and then the next person would get a little darker, and then the next person gets the best, the bottom part. So this is called a fairness pitcher. That's what I'm calling this pot, and you can use any heat-resistant vessel you would like to serve from. So when this is completely finished, I'm going to pour it into this one before I pour it into your cup. And that way, everybody gets a blended brew. The color, the flavor, everything will be all the same. And I love the idea of doing that. And I apologize that this one is 5 minutes, so we are going to continue talking about the different types of pu'erh. In this country, we pretty much only enjoy the ripened pu'erh because of, well, expense, because of timeliness, but there are pu'erhs that are available, believe it or not, pu'erh trees that are over 1,000 to 2,000 years old. Granted, we don't see those being harvested, but there are some wonderfully old pu'erh trees, and the large leaves are what are used. So that is a Camellia sinensis asamaca meaning large leaf. So it takes time for those leaves to mature, getting them to the point where they can be harvested and then processed properly. So as I mentioned, this type of tea is what is consumed for the most part in the United States at this point. Pu'erh is coming into its own. It's becoming much better known and understood. People are looking for the health benefits, but they're also looking for the flavor and the taste that they get. So I drink pu'erh after I have had a big meal because it does kind of help settle things down, especially if I've had a rich meal. And I also like it very well in the morning because it's almost equivalent to having that heavy dark cup of coffee. So with all of this, I would say that we are probably serving the best pu'erh available. We like to keep it at about a 5-year age if possible, and sometimes we luck out and get something a little bit older, but understand that the darker, in my case, the better. So again, if you have questions, please feel free to ask, and also sign up for our mailing list. We will be sending special promotions out, and also the next video that we will be doing. And for the most part, I'm going to go ahead and pour now this pu'erh into our fairness pitcher. And look at that color. It's a dark, beautiful amber color. That's why in China they actually call black tea red tea. In the United States we call black tea black tea. So look at that. It's even, it's beautiful, and I'm going to tell you right now, once I taste it, the difference in the flavor from what we had before. I'm going to smell it. Earthy. It's, I'm going to say, to the point where some people say pu'erh smells like dirt. Well, it should. You want that earthiness. You want that rich flavor. Almost peaty, P-E-A-T-Y in its flavor. I'm going to take a sip of this one. It's quite a bit hot, hotter than the other. And it is outstanding, just like I knew it would be. So, again, if you have any questions at all, I hope you enter the world of pu'erh. You should at least try it once. Understand, we carry the aged ripened. We do not sell the raw, but there are places out there, I'm sure, that you can source it from. I have to say, the heavier the better. This is very good It is very good, but I just prefer the dark. So, with all of this, I want to thank you for joining us today. I hope you were able to get information that you've never had before. Please remember to send us a direct message if you would like a code, like right now. And we'll send you a code for $5 off your next pu'erh purchase. This month we've been featuring different pu'erhs every week, and each one has a different promotion tied to it. But you, because you're on the video with us, get $5 off no matter what. So please direct message us. Make sure you enjoy tea, not only by yourself, but with your friends, and make pu'erh a big part of it. You will love it, I promise. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been my pleasure.